What up, world? It's your boy, Vic XL. This is the Riding Dirty Show, where we bridge the gap between hip-hop and everyday life, all right? Today is Wednesday, September the 16th. Let's get into it, all right? I always got to start the show by saying one time for the good people over at WRFG, 89.3 FM, for providing us an FM platform for over 15 years. It's definitely been a beautiful situations. We've been through ups, downs, round and arounds, but we've always stuck it out together. And again, one time for the good people over at WRFG 89.3 FM. If it wasn't no you guys, there might not be a me guy. All right? So I definitely appreciate everything the radio station has done for the career of Vic XL and the Riding Dirty Show. I also got to say one time for the good people over at Live365.com. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Live365.com. Live365.com is the internet's longest running streaming site. But they're more than just a streaming site. They are a streaming site for radio stations. All right, a lot of terrestrial radio stations broadcast through their platform via the internet. They also allow internet radio stations and content providers like myself to launch internet radio stations. Now, these stations are not just internet radio stations, but they are media-based radio stations, which means all the music's played on the platforms. If they're handled correctly on the publishing side, you will be paid royalties. Now, let me tell you a little bit about our station. All right, we launched a station 90 days ago entitled Ride 95. That's R-I-D-E, the number 95. Ride 95. We are what's next in hip-hop and R&B, giving opportunities to content creators, show programmers, people with shows, artists, people who looking to advertise. We're just giving a platform to independent thinkers and minds to be able to use our platform to help further their careers. Now, you can check our radio station by logging into live365.com. That's live365.com. Go into their search engine. Once you go into their search engine, then type in Ride 95, click on our station logo, and you'll hear music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, if you want to check us out on your mobile device, all you got to do is download the Live 365 app. Once you download the app, go into the search engine, type in Ride 95, click on the station logo, and there you have us. Music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All right, so please support us, lock us in, Ride 95, giving you what's next in hip-hop and R&B. Okay? All right, like I said, today is Wednesday, September the 16th. Let me run down some celebrity birthdays. Gotta say happy birthday to super producer Metro Boomin. Metro Boomin turns 27 years old today. Gotta say happy birthday to actress Kyla Platt. You might know her from Dr. Dolittle. She turns 34 years old today. Gotta say happy birthday and rest in peace to blues great Mr. B.B. King. B.B. King would be 95 years old today. He transitioned in 2015. Gotta say happy birthday to Philadelphia rapper Prince E.A. Prince E.A. turns 32 years old today. Gotta say happy birthday to NBA player Mr. Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon turns 25 years old today. Gotta say happy birthday to battle rapper Vic Cortez, also known as Cortez. He turns 41 years old today. Gotta say happy birthday to one of my favorite artists out of Florida, Flo Rida. Flo Rida turns 41 years old today. And last but not least, got to say happy birthday to one of the greats, especially when it comes to yesteryear, old school hip hop. Got to say happy birthday to Mr. T. La Rock. It's yours. T. La Rock turns 59 years old today. You know, I always like to tell you guys, a great way to tell a person happy birthday is by following them on social media, checking out what they got going on, and definitely by logging in and telling them happy birthday. Let them know that you heard it was their birthday on the Riding Dirty Show with yours truly, Vic XL. All right? All right. Let's see what we got going on in celebrity news. All right. Gotta say one time, my man Jim Jones. Jim Jones is definitely expanding his horizons. He is hosting a mixtape for Christian rapper Nuki Rio. So that's definitely a different lane for Jim Jones, but he's hosting that mixtape, and the name of that mixtape is This Far by Faith. I wonder will Jim Jones be making a foray into the Christian hip-hop world. All right. You know the election is heating up. November, you got to go out and vote. It seems that Donald Trump is using NWA's music for his war against Joe Biden. Man, what? First of all, Donald Trump used T.I. against Joe Biden. Now he's using NWA. Man, what the hell is on Donald Trump's mind? Donald Trump, you know hip-hop don't rock with you. So why are you using hip-hop songs? T.I., now NWA. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right? Now, as we keep things going, it seems like Dallas Austin is back to producing, and he's definitely got a brand new artist for you guys to look out for who goes by the name of Lil Cobain. All right? So definitely check out Lil Cobain. Coming up by my man Dallas Austin. It's good to see Dallas back doing his thing. And last but not least, in hip-hop news, we got some old school cats who've linked up. KRS-One, Curtis Blow, Chuck D, and Rakim have linked up for a song called Hip Hop for Peace. All right, celebrating the 75th anniversary of International Day of Peace later this month. So definitely can't wait to hear that song, and I would love to see if these four are planning on doing a show or whatever the case may be. Oh, and last thing, go to my YouTube page. Definitely check out my news report at Riding Dirty TV. But Cardi B has officially called it quits. All right, called it quits. She's filed for divorce from Offset of the Migos. Okay? All right, we're going to keep y'all posted on that. All right, I gave y'all celebrity birthdays. Definitely gave y'all celebrity news. Now it's time to give y'all what I love giving y'all most, and that's the people on the streets who are doing their thing, whether it's through arts, entertainment, philanthropism, activism, however they're doing their thing and making this world a better place. The Riding Dirty platform is the platform for them. And tonight is no different than any other night on the Riding Dirty Show. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get really close to your mobile device. Get really close to your computer. However you're checking out the show, just get really close. Get really close. As I bring to you film director, Mr. Mario Bobino. How you doing today, sir?
To be honest with you, I'm better than some, worse than others.
Ooh, I love that, and that is the truest thing that anyone could ever say. Better than some, worse than others. But as my grandfather always told me...
I play fair? Yes.
My grandfather always told me, it's always a good day when you're on this side of the dirt.
100.
So, Mr. Babano.
I play fair and I keep it real.
That's right, that's right. Mr. Babano, first of all, I always like to welcome everybody to the Riding Dirty Show. Also, thank you for giving us this moment to speak with you.
I appreciate your platform.
So let's get into it. The first thing I want you to let the people know is, where is Mario Bobino from, and when did you discover your passion for film?
Okay, well, Mario Bobino was born and raised in Oakland, California. The positive thing is how I discovered my talent for this was I was always a student athlete. So when I went away to college, there comes a point you have to declare your major. So I was taking a lot of communication classes, media production classes. So I just got into that particular field, and I got into drama. And then when I was graduating, I was like, I got to do something with my life. I put together through my education how to write, speak, be in front of the camera, produce. So I was fortunate enough to get a major internship at a major TV station in Oakland, California called Channel 2. And from there, I met my mentor, Bill Moore, who was the head cinema photographer at the station. And he was the one that was telling me how to use film cameras and whatnot have you. He had some film cameras, and he knew what my passion was, and he told me to go out and trial and error. And that all began in 1987. I graduated in college in 87, and then he gave me my first, let me use his film cameras in 87. And then by 92, he just gave them to me because he saw how serious I was about trying to make film. So going to school, I think, is so important, getting your education, because you get to learn the basics, and then you get to declare what your major is. So I was able to concentrate on that, and then come back home to Oakland, where I'm from, and we did our thesis film at my former high school, Oakland High School. And it's available on YouTube because I didn't know nothing about copyright infringement and things of that nature, so we used all types of old school music from the 70s and 80s. So I couldn't make no money off it, so I just went on and put it on YouTube. And, ever since then, I've always been an independent guerrilla filmmaker. And what I mean by that, I always had a 9-to-5 job. I just didn't depend on making films because I always would executive produce all of my films. So I was a fortunate, educated brother that was smart enough not to just put all my eggs in one basket. I needed a 9-to-5, so therefore I could have that retirement money, that retirement, Medi-Cal. And then once I retired, I took on the filmmaking full blast. And that's what leads us today to my film, My Culture.
All right, I have to ask this. Before we get into the film, My Culture, who are some of your favorite directors?
Well, no doubt, I'm going to say Ryan Coogler, because his father and my brother are really close friends, and he's 2 years older than me. So I can't say I always knew of Ryan, but I knew his father, Ira Coogler, growing up, because him and my brother used to kind of run together. I patterned my filmmaking styles after a filmmaker that's out of the Bay Area. His name is called Walter Hill, and he's the one that directed the gang movie called The Warriors, 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy. So at an early age, I was definitely following him because I liked the movies and I liked his style. My inspiration, obviously, was Oscar Michel, who was a black man who was a pioneer when it comes to filmmaking. And I liked how he was just so forward with doing what he wanted to do to put, film on screen, And then you had many people coming after him, Michael Schultz, the director of Cooley High. So I was a young kid looking at all these films growing up as a kid and was realizing there's a few black directors out here doing their thing. So that gave me hope as a black person, seeing these filmmakers do their thing. And obviously Spike Lee came along, and John Singleton, and a whole bunch of others. So that always gave me inspiration to just stay focused on what I want to do. And then hopefully one day, if I continue to do what I do, I'll get my opportunity to put films out there so the public can see.
All right, now at this point in your film career, how many films do you have under your belt, including My Culture?
This would be number 13 right here, film number 13.
All right, now, what was your very first film?
My first film was a film called City Life, which was like my thesis film, which was about just me and pretty much my senior year in high school. That's why we went back to my old high school and filmed it there. So that was my very first film, and it wasn't shot on film. We shot it on video because Lord knows at that time I didn't have no film money. So we shot it on video, had a fun time filming it, learned a whole bunch from that film. And then my first film that we shot on 16-millimeter film was a movie called Characters, and that premiered, came out in 92. So been doing this for a while, but, while I was doing this, like I said earlier, I always had a 9-to-5. So we would always, do what we had to do, rehearse in the evenings, and then on the weekends we would film, and then during the week I'm back at work. So just a hustle. Anybody I'm gonna say from Oakland, the Bay Area, we just got hustle in us. If you're somebody who got their mind on right, it's just about a hustle. It's just all about doing what you believe in, and you're gonna come across negativism. That's a part of life, but you just gotta just shake it off and keep it moving. Believe in yourself.
All right. As I was checking out your mini bio on on IMDb, I noticed that you had a film, the Marshawn Lynch story in 2015. Tell me a little bit about that, because Beast Mode is the man.
Well, pretty much it's unfortunate, but me and Beast Mode's mother went to school together, and his uncle, Lorenzo Lynch, is a real close friend of mine. We grew up together, knew each other since 10 years old, and just had an opportunity. He asked me to do a film of his life, and we did it, but for whatever reason, some people were involved in it, and it turned ugly. And, I told Marshawn when we put this together, and it was something, if I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't do or approach it the way I did. I had too many people involved, which I shouldn't have. But it didn't turn out the way he pretty much liked it. So it put a can on the film, and film kind of got blackballed, unfortunately, and it never worked out, unfortunately. A lot of people in the film was very disappointed in me, and I just say, man, I fumbled, and my career was kind of on hold after that debacle. A lot of people was kind of laughing about the situation, but I just knew it was a stumble in the road. Hopefully one day me and my man can get back together and chop it up again and release it, because it is a finished film. There is a trailer on the internet. People can go to it and check it out. But it's his call in reference to getting it out. My film career definitely took a backseat to that, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But, the soldier that I am, I moved forward and past that.
Okay. I also noticed in 2015 you had a film, The Oakland Squad. What was that about?
Oakland Squad, we shot that actually before we shot the Marshawn Lynch movie. That was pretty much about, we have a lot of athletes, student athletes in Oakland, especially football athletes like Marshawn, Josh Johnson, I'm going to say Damian Lillard. I'm talking about people that you know about, Damian Lillard. Marvin Smith got a Super Bowl ring with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Will Blackwell, and many, many more. But pretty much it's about what high school kids go through to try to get that athletic scholarship, and then how their coaches have a major influence on getting them kids out there. And then a lot of times coaches use these athletes but don't really prepare them as far as the proper courses that they're supposed to take so they can get that scholarship. So this movie is enlightening on that aspect as a student athlete, what a student athlete goes through in high school, how, the student athletes, the football players mess with the cheerleaders, that little relationship because they're really close. And then how your coach has a lot to do with you being seen. So that was a very fun film to put together because it educated people in the inner city on how the recruiting process goes and how sometimes a coach will take advantage of his student athlete where he'll put him in these classes, these Mickey Mouse classes, so he could just pass, so he could stay eligible. But then once the season's over with, when the recruiters come looking for him, it's like, hey, man, what type of classes have you been taking? We can't offer you that scholarship. So it's pretty much based on that. But then again, I threw that little Oakland, little flavor in it, reference to how it goes on out here.
Okay, all right. So look, let's come up to 2020. Let's talk a little bit about your most current release, My Culture. Tell us a little thesis on the film, what went into making it, and your feelings on the outcome.
Well, pretty much, after the debacle with the Marshawn Lynch film, I had to come back with something strong. So I really had to sit down and think about my next move. I had to make my next move the best move. So what I ended up doing is I just retired from juvenile hall, so I had a little bit of money saved up. And in order for me to go into this film, I was going to have to pretty much pay everybody. I couldn't have nobody do anything for free, because when you have people that work for you for free, when you're on the set and you got the locations and whatnot have you, they'll get up and leave at any given moment in time. It's like, hey, man, I got to get to work. You told me I was going to be here for 4 hours. And when it comes to independent films, it never goes the way that you want it to go. And normally, even on a real production set, you're out there all day because you really got to take the time to do your lighting, get the right camera angles, get the cast members in the right frame of mind. So I definitely invested in myself and had a few other people invest in me. And we went on and we went to a casting agency and we went out and we casted people that had a good theater background. And then we rehearsed for like 4 months. And then we had to get things together with the city of Oakland, which we shot 95% of the movie. And then we had to get permits. Like I said, I was a guerrilla filmmaker, but this particular film, I had to go about everything legit because I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to be on set and then the police show up and kick us off the set because they have the right to do that. So we hired the Oakland police to be our security because, Oakland can get a little wild. I'm from here. So I wanted to make sure when we were filming, everybody on the set was comfortable. So they didn't have, because, a lot of my cast members, they have a theater background. They're not, I'm saying a lot of my cast members wasn't that really many of them. I'm talking about the main characters. None of them was from Oakland. A lot of the extras was from Oakland. So these people were coming from like San Jose, Sacramento, the suburbs. So I wanted to make sure that when they were on set, they felt comfortable. We had craft services, we had hair and makeup, so everything was done professionally. And I was paying for all of this because, like I said, I didn't want anybody to, come and be on my set if we're going a little late talking about they got to go home. Everybody was on payroll. And then we were able to get through the whole filming. The locations was locations I grew up in that particular neighborhood where I knew a lot of people. My people still own homes there. My mom still owns her home. So we was able to utilize and use all these locations. And then once we got done with the filming, which was a blessing because it was definitely difficult. I'm not going to say we really had production problems, but we had different type of attitudes on the set. And I just had to make sure that it worked. It was a lot of chemistry that wasn't really working, so I had to be the bigger person, the general, and just make it work. And I was able to do that. And then when we went to post-production, which was the editing, that's when you got to put together the sounds and the edits, and then you got to bring in the music. And then a good friend of mine, my co-worker, Orlando Rocco Music, Big Ron, my hooping partner, he does music. So I got together with him, and he's always been on my side. When that Marshawn Lynch thing went down, he was like one of the first people in my ear talking about, man, that was messed up what happened. As much as you've done to that community, how they can kind of turn your back on you. So I respected that from Big Ron. And he was also very talented in music. I said, hey, Ron, man, he was just getting started in his music career. And I said, hey, man, I need you to score my movie. He's like, man, what you talking about? Man, I said, man, you could do this, man. You know music, man. So we got together, and I told him, what scenes needed music for, and then he went and did his thing. And he added that dimension that I needed to my film, So then once we wrapped up the music, put together a soundtrack, which is not out yet, we're still trying to work on that. And then we entered into a couple of festivals, and there's one that was a big festival called the Universe Multicultural Film Festival, which was Universe. We're talking about Japan, Australia, Africa. And it won some awards for Best Actress and Best Cinematography. So from there, we ended up getting distribution with Amazon Prime, and that's where the film is at right now. What I do like about this film, opposed to a lot of my previous films, is the fact that this is a PG-13 movie. There's no nudity. Nobody's going to get their head blown off. I doubt if you hear the word F one time. I had a real conscious effort when I put this together because a lot of my previous films, definitely had R ratings. So I wanted to challenge myself and put together something PG-13 that people could watch it, be and thrilled with what I put together, and then talk about the subject matters that my film is about. And that's where this life is at today, the way the world is going. In order for us to survive, we all have to understand everyone's culture. And if somebody is in love with a cow, and if that cow is that person's soulmate, we need to understand and let that person do what they got to do. As long as it ain't nothing that's hurting no kids or hurting the economy, do what you do. And that's pretty much what this film is about.
All right. Now, why the title My Culture?
Well, because it's about a black man who comes across a very beautiful Hispanic woman, and they just kind of just hit it off, and they fall in love with each other, and they're both like the breadwinners of their family. So their family was thinking they want to keep the tradition on with their particular culture, but for whatever reason, they just hit it off. It's off some fluke stuff, just meeting at a little club, or I would say a lounge, and just kind of hit it off. And that happens a lot, like love at first sight. So what goes on is the reason why it's called My Culture is because, Hispanics, they have a culture that's very important that we need to understand and know about. Black people have a culture that we need to understand and know about. So the two families are pretty much going off of things that they hear or they see on TV. That's what a lot of us do. We don't really take the necessary time to understand any culture. Like, why do you do that? Why do you guys, do this? And this film breaks it down so people can talk about that, so people can open up about why they do what they do, because us as human beings, one of our biggest problems is we judge people too much without really knowing them, especially like cultures, like why they do certain things. And then once you talk with them about it, you understand, and then you respect them. And then once you actually go to their country, it just gives you a much more appreciation. I tell a lot of people, especially out here where we're from, Oakland, we're struggling out here, but if you've been to one of them third world countries, it's like, dude, appreciate, like we both talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, being above 6 feet is a very beautiful thing, and being in control of being above 6 feet is a very beautiful thing, opposed to being in a third world country where, man, you pretty much, you got to look over your shoulder 24/7. So my culture is pretty much about people understanding and respecting people's cultures. And what I like about the film is funny. You're going to see some things that black people do that's funny that we do as a race that's cool, and as well as on the Hispanic side, like they have this thing called the quinceañera, so not that we had it in my movie because I couldn't afford that particular scene, but they did have a get-together. But things like that is good to know about, and that's why my culture is so important, and I want to get this movie out there, and I'm just so happy and thankful that it has been getting the response that it has been getting, because quite honest, I was pretty much the only person to really believe this. A lot of people are like, man, I don't think this movie's going to work. I don't think this movie's going to work.
90 seconds.
I know this movie's going to work. And once it was done, it was just up to the people. And so far, the response that I have been getting from the people that have watched it has like been kind of what I had envisioned. But a lot of people who didn't believe in it, it was like, oh, man, okay. So, you got to believe in yourself regardless of all the naysayers.
All right, I definitely agree. And you know what? I'm probably going to go to Amazon Prime as soon as we get off this call and watch it, because I'm an African American male and my wife is Hispanic, so I want to sit back and see how much is this we can really relate to.
Oh, I think you're going to relate to it well. I'm glad that you told me that. You just. It's only an hour and 13 minutes. You're going to be in for a good, great cinema for that amount of time. And you're going to be like, I can guarantee you're going to be sitting there watching it, kind of shaking your nod in your head like, oh, okay. And that's all I want as a filmmaker, is for people to respect the art.
Okay, so look, because we got to wrap it up. Let the people know how to find and watch My Culture. Well, all you got to do is go to Amazon Prime, and the movie is called My Culture.
10 seconds.
If you have a problem that way, you could always type in my name. My name is Googleable, thankfully, because of all the years and hard work I put in. So if you type in my name, Mario Bobino, then my IDMB page will pop up, and then it'll have all my movies there. And then 9 times when you Google my name, if you go to my website, because my website's going to pop up, My Culture is everywhere. Any website or my Instagram, anything that you go to, which is the same thing, my name, Mario Bobino, My Culture is going to be right in your face. So if you just remember my name, Mario Bobino, or you can remember My Culture, either one of them will guide you and lead you to the movie My Culture, which is on Amazon Prime.
All right, Mario, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show, talking to us about My Culture. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I'm going to drop you a review somewhere, whether it's on Amazon Prime, or I'm going to drop you a review on your Instagram page. I definitely want you to let the people know how to find you when it comes to social media and website.
Okay, well, when it comes to social media, it's my name, Mario Bobino. That's my Instagram. That's my Facebook. That's my LinkedIn page. And then my company, my website is debonairproductions.com. You know, Debonair, Debonair, Productions with the S at the end. So that's all my social media, Debonair Productions. That's me, Debonair Productions, LLC. And my name, Mario Bobino, and that's Mario. And the last name could be a little difficult. It's B as in bad, O as in open, B as in bad, I as in N as in no, O as in open. put Mario Bobino together, and then my social media will pop up. And also, if it's affiliated with Debonair Productions, that's me as well.
All right,
and I just want to say I really appreciate you allowing me to be on your platform, and one love to Cleveland.
All right, and I appreciate you for coming on. And we're going to end the show with one of the songs from the movie Summertime by artist Drea. Appreciate it, sir.
Orlando Rocco Music, one love.
Spirit supply popping on the weekend, about to get my hair did.